Yo, Hideyuki here, the Rebelling Rose, the one chained to oblivion, returning yet again with another great video. Today, I wanted to do something very special for the end of this month. So, we are going to be talking about the best and worst visual K in April of 2026. So, we're going to be discussing three great albums and three terrible albums. So, we're going to be starting with the best, right? Start off on a positive note, and then we'll start getting into the more crazy, terrible releases this month. But anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, so to kick this off, the first album we're going to talk about is Made in Underworld by The Devil Inside. So this album was released on April 6th. And yeah, to start off, the artwork, man, is just very dope. I'm liking the aesthetic here. It has a very Devil May Cry inspired, picture here, with all the colors and the wings and the way they had the logo. I saw this and I'm like, what the hell? Is this Devil May Cry 5? It got me thinking that. And I'm like, wow, if that's what they were going for, they definitely nailed it to a T. So props on them for that. Now, for the actual sound itself, this album is a mixture of metalcore, a lot of fast drumming, a lot of electronic music sprinkled in here as well, and some bass, of course. Now, this is a decently heavy album, but it still has that pop sound to it. So if you want something of kind of both worlds, then this album is probably going to be for you. It still tends to lean a little more into the pop than the heavy stuff. Like the heavy stuff is there, but it still tries to do both at the same time. And I think it does a fairly decent job at that. Not absolutely perfect, but one of the better releases of this month for sure. The songs that stood out to me the most on this was SE, the intro song, a great way to get things going. By My Blood. Stain Rain. In this world. So all three of those, like I said, they have the aggressive metalcore style, but they still have, those pop melodic vocals going on. So it has a good mixture here and there, right? So you can see, where that sound is coming from. Lots of great stuff from here for sure. Next up on our best list, we have Dawn by Vistlip. This was released on the very first day of this month. And let's start off with the album cover itself. Pretty basic here, kind of playing it safe. You have this cover of the sun and the moon. You got these assorted colors going on, and you got a couple of paint strokes here and there. First glance, it looks okay. If you pay close attention, you can see, it's like a sun and a moon together. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Um, still kind of, nothing striking, but not bad either. But however, man, when the track list gets started, whoo boy, that's when things get real good. This is where we have a lot of cool chill songs in here, man. So if you're looking for something that's more chilling, more relaxing, something more upbeat, positive, energetic, then this album is gonna be right up your alley. I mean, Vistlip has been doing that for years already. But just listening to this album, I'm like, wow, like these guys have really mastered their craft. You can tell they've been improving over the years. And yeah, it's just wonderful to see that. They still got it, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it really shows on this album. I mean, you got lots of good upbeat jazz sounds, wonderful vocals by Tomo, and yeah, just good stuff all around. So the standout songs for the album itself, that's gonna be Code Number. Figure. In last order, those are the ones that I can see people putting on repeat over and over. They just want to chill out, they want to jam out or whatever, and they just put that on, and they're in it. So yeah, those are definitely the best on the album. Last but not least, we have Siganto Kitan by Sidro Modro. Man, wow, these guys are so under the radar. I'm actually shocked by how good these guys are. So this right here is a Showa Koya style VK band, and they released their album on the 16th on this month. The album cover, pretty standard. You got a band photo of all the members. You got some little detailings in the background. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty cool. Nothing like crazy, but nice to look at. Um, but man, anyways, getting into the actual music. Just off the bat, when we're getting into the music here, the vocals do sound very similar to Muck's lead vocalist. Very, very similar, at least on those first few tracks on here. So that kind of took me back a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if they were inspired by them a bit. Even their look is kind of similar to, early Muck. Boy, despite them sounding a little similar to Muck in certain areas, it still has its own charm and identity. And you can definitely see that with tracks 1. For in 7. Those 3, my goodness, man, they do not hold back at all. Another thing I've noticed is there's a lot of guitar solos in this album. I mean, all throughout, there's tons of guitar solos, and there's a lot of bass solos in here too. They just get a lot of moments where, you get to hear that bass, like on this track, for example. So you have a lot of different options there. And man, and what's great is the vocal range is really, really good. You can tell that they really practice their vocal work here. They're able to change up their range and not sound like they're trying too hard or anything like that. Like they know how to go hard and to mellow out. Like it's a good balance, right? Really great stuff. Keeping that, traditional hard rock sound. And, even playing up the eeriness, some of these songs also have a very eerie, creepy demeanor to them, on some of these tracks. But man, out of everything that I've listened to throughout this month, this is the most consistent album of them all. Definitely the highest rated on here. I would immediately recommend this album, no problem. Definitely underrated. These guys are super underappreciated, and they're fairly new. That's the craziest thing. And if you look into their history, only one of their members, which is their lead guitar player, has experience in other bands. Everyone else is pretty much new to the scene. So it's extra impressive that this is pretty much their first major album release. And they sound this good. It's crazy, but, they pulled it off, and you can see there's definitely talent there. All right, and there you have it. Those are the best albums of April for 2026. And with that being said, we are going to transition into the worst albums of 2026. So this is going to cover the most mediocre, average, generic stuff all the way to the worst of the worst. So let's tune on in. Next up, we have Utsukushi by Saiai Kizu. So this was a mini album that got released on April 15th on this year. And yeah, let's just talk about it real fast. So the album cover itself, pretty nice. A good group photo of the band. Nothing too crazy here. And then if we get into the music, right, lots of keyboard. I've noticed this album got tons of keyboard playing all throughout. Got a little bit of drum and bass here, just a teensy bit of harsh, loud case style vocals, but still mostly a pop structure. But yeah, tracks 1. Three.
上この世界で不変なもの得られない一生不毛あいつの夢は来世まで叶わないの
And 6.
不条理に愛を切り裂く利己的なあなたは人の心をいつしかわからなくなったのね1秒でも触れ合いたいから最低でも心地のいい荒い終焉をバレないくらいに噛みついて
Stand out of the crowd. And they have okay replay value. The rest though don't really do much. Most of them are pretty generic pop songs on here, and compared to their previous album Replica, it's more of the same. There's nothing that much different. They're not doing anything that really drove it home or really made themselves outstanding. It's just like, okay, it's more or less the same of what they had before. And they are a new band, so I don't expect them to have anything like crazy good right away, So yeah, I mean, my general thoughts on this is it's pretty much a mediocre album. Like, it's still one of the worst that came out this month because it's nothing like super great, but it's not extremely bad either. Let's put it this way: it's the best of the worst, is the way I see it. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on Sai's album. All right, next up on the worst list is My Lonely Vacations album, Beautify. This came out on April 7th, and the interesting thing about this band, they actually started as a non-visual K band before, coming back together and coming up with new members to make up the new band. So a lot of their sound is right on the nail with the J-pop scene because that's what they were. They were pretty much a J-pop band prior to this, right? And yeah, it's there's a lot to be desired. So yeah, let's start with the album cover itself, right? The album cover is very generic here. I mean, there was really not that much effort put on here. You just have the generic red text here over some flowers and some roses, right? That's diluted or what have you, grayed out. Very, very basic album cover, not that inspired, nothing that really sticks out. I'm like, it just looks very underwhelming, at first glance. And then getting into the actual content itself, right? It's extremely safe, man. I mean, boy, I know this is a pop. I know this is a pop band. I know that's what they're going for, but man, like, there's nothing that really stands on its own. Like, the playing itself with the instrumentation is fine. It's okay, but a lot of the vocals are very weak here. The tracks that are especially terrible on this album are ones like Apocalypse. Middle Mermaid. They don't hold their own. And the lyrics too. Oh my lord, the lyrics are especially trash, man. My goodness. And the only reason I'm getting on the lyrics like that is because they have it translated on their channel. They have quote unquote music videos where they're showing the lyrics, as like this weird sing along thing. Right. And then they also post the lyrics in the comment section as well. So, you can actually see the lyrics and see what they're talking about. And a lot of it is just the same old standard visual K lyrics that you heard of, of love and romance and what have you, really trying to appeal to that, specific demographic, right? Trying to appeal to the teenage girls or the adult girls, what have you, try to melt their hearts or whatever. And it's just like, oh my goodness, it's just so corny, man. So fucking lame. And it's been done. It's been done so many times already. So yeah, this entire album, man, has just been. It was a hard one. It was a rough one, especially those music videos, man. They only have one actual music video, for the album, which okay, shouts out to them for doing that, I guess. But the rest of these sing along music videos, it's just so fucking cringe. You can tell this is some, TikTok era inspired bullshit. That TikTok marketing, to get the young folks into it. It's like, hey, if we do the TikTok, if we do the stupid little dances, well, oh man, we can get them in here. Are you gonna watch the video, man? Are you gonna watch it, man? Oh, are you gonna listen to it, man? And I'm just like, it's just really disgusting. And, the problem I have with bands like these is they're not genuine. I mean, wow. I mean, yes, Visual K has always been synonymous with pop music. It's heavily inspired by the J-pop scene, but this is just fucking ridiculous, man. You could tell these guys are using that to promote themselves, which is crazy because Visual K is already underground. So trying to use it to build up your band is already insane as it is. So I'm like, it's just such a backwards marketing on their part. But I guess they're trying to, appeal to the fucking idol fans or whatever. It's just really, man, really, really fucking cringe. Um, yeah, man. The only song on the entire album that's passable is Daybreak. That song is decent. It's catchy, it's nice. It has some good replay value, I guess. But the rest of the album, man, oh goodness, it's just bad. Last but not least, we have Mortal Downer by Duran Gray. So this came out on April 8th of this month. And yeah, let's go over it. So first up, we have the album cover itself. So we have this man in a black outfit, right? He's in this picture frame, and you have this black sea all around him. At first glance, it's a pretty out there cover. I think it stands out, especially with all the black flames. So I guess he's supposed to be being down deep in this dark sea or what have you. So hence the title Mortal Downer. Yeah, I think the album art is pretty good here. It fits the title and what have you. Musically, Mortal Downer is quite terrible. This is more or less the same nonsense that Duran Gray has been doing for the past decade. Let's just throw in a bunch of experimental bullshit. Let's throw avant-garde, let's throw prog, let's throw, these deaf doom growls and sounds. Let's do the alternative metal stuff. Let's have a little bit of corn in there and just mash it all together and just call it a fucking day. And that's how they roll. And I really tried with this album, man. I've listened to it multiple times. I took a break, came back to it, and just tried my best. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, I'm mistaken. Maybe there's something that I haven't seen yet that Duran Gray can do. But no! Yet again, they are on the bullshit. They're on the nonsense, man. And when you look at certain tracks, right? You look at stuff like Demand. You look at tracks like There's Nothing Else. Kusabi. just listening to that, and it's like, man, these are especially trash, man. These are especially garbage. I'm meaning Kyo is struggling, man. I mean, he's always been struggling with the vocal work. Let's be honest here. And we all know where he gets that from, you know. But, man, it's just like, damn, fuck. Boy, this man is he's trying anything. He's just throwing any kind of growl, any kind of scream, just anything, hoping that it's going to stick. You know, the Durangray fans, or as I like to call them, the Durantards, have done it yet again. They have tricked themselves and tricked other people into believing that Durangray is of quality. The fans are delusional. And I just couldn't imagine, right, for a second, you know, just falling for the brainwashing. You know, Durangray is probably looking down at all y'all like, fuck. We could really just put out any bullshit, and our dumbass, edgy, pretentious fan base is gonna eat that shit up. No problem. Oh boy. Imagine being like one of those clowns. Oh, that could never be me, man. I could never imagine being a Durantard, man. Oh man, I couldn't do it, man. I wouldn't be able to do it. But anyways, there you have it. Those are the best and worst Visual Kei albums of this month. Man, we had a lot of interesting releases. And yeah, I wanted to talk about some singles, but I decided to just stick with album releases for the most part. And maybe save singles for a different time, you know, because we had a lot of albums. So I'm like, hey, might as well do that, you know. If next month or the next 2 months is mostly singles, then we'll talk about more singles. But yeah, with that being said, Hideyuki here, the Rebelling Rose, and until next time, I'll see you.